guilt post about the grief that I felt or did not feel to the extent that I would like to have felt at the passing away of my uncle. There are strange things which have been because for the past 2 weeks for the past 2 weeks I have been discussing on and off the moral difficulties behind keeping a terminally ill person alive on medical support at exorbitant cost. I've been thinking this, going through this problem, moral discussions, problem, ethical dilemma for the past 2 weeks. So now I'm just doing this post because I cannot talk about this to anybody other than my closest friends, trustworthy friends who wouldn't divulge it to the family members. And also I'm doing a live about it in English because probably people who watch this in English are not going to tell that. Okay. So my mom actually cooked food in the morning and she kept the dosa tawa ready and she gave me instruction. She kept the dosa flour ready. She gave me instructions to make dosas for myself. And she has also cooked rice. Cooked rice and kept it ready for me. I told her expressly in the morning. I told her specifically in the morning that I'm not going to eat anything. In the morning also she insisted that I should eat dosas, but I didn't eat. But what really put me in guilt mode and why I'm actually doing this live right now is because I really felt hunger pangs and also felt sleepy. I hadn't slept all night, thinking and thinking and thinking and reflecting on my uncle. And in the morning, I've been making calls to all the relatives through the night. In the morning also I had to make calls early morning also I kept trying. People who didn't pick up calls in the midnight. And and as the morning progressed, around 7 or something, I felt hunger pangs, and that really put me on guilt mode. My psychological theory is that if somebody is in real grief, they won't feel hunger. So logically, when I felt hunger, it automatically means that I didn't feel grief. I don't know which is the truth. Yesterday, when I was trying to wake my uncle, my voice was broken and tears flowing down my cheeks. And when that Apollo specialist also, ICU specialist also was telling that he might not regain consciousness at all, that time also grief tugged at my heart. But after making calls, talking to everyone and doing all the stuff, by morning probably my grief had evaporated. That's why I felt hunger pangs. And that really put me on a guilt. And I was also feeling sleepy. Two things that shouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have felt hunger. I shouldn't have felt sleepy. Both of them happened. But then to insist on and my mother on the side was also pushing me to have breakfast. I refused to have breakfast, and now It's near lunch. The time now is and the time now is 12:30. And while some time back, half an hour back, while starting for the funeral, my mom said, "Have cooked rice and for kept dosa flour ready for you. Why don't you eat something and start?" Of course, now I don't have hunger. Probably I might feel hunger pangs in a moment, in an hour or so. But I stick to my guns and I stick to my um, rule that people in grief should not feel hunger pangs. Although I slept, which is also it should not be there. But sleep I cannot help because if I don't sleep, I probably be ending up with a headache because I have my nose blocked and then have heavy flu infection right now. So I had to sleep. But eating is something I can thoroughly forego, and I'm foregoing that. So whether I'm being a dogmatic, doctrinaire, stupid person who is trying to impose a very idiotic rule or something, or very it might look irrational, and it is apparent. It is probably most probably irrational, but I believe there is a reason behind it, and there is no other way that we can teach children to own their grief when they really feel grief, unless we have some kind of a norms where people don't eat and don't sleep when their close relatives have died, until the funeral at least. So not eating is a way of affirming the grief and telling the future generations, telling the children that if they don't feel like eating, it is perfectly natural because people in grief, people in bereavement don't feel hunger and shouldn't be feeling hunger. And if you feel hunger, then it automatically means that you are not grieving that badly, that you are not that close to that person, and it doesn't matter. Probably I'm not actually close because I was once very close to him for a few years, but after that, due to my college dropout and several things, distance between us grew, grew and grew and grew, and he was very disappointed with why I didn't finish my college and everything. So that's it, guys. That's what I'm thinking, and that's all I have to say right now.